Hey everyone, look who it is. It's the Thriving team.
Woo. Hi everybody.
Hi everyone. It is Joelle, Janine, and Jessie, the team from Thriving, and we have been working together through Zoom for a long time now, and especially now. And we thought, hey, why not let you into one of our little meetings? We have been doing a lot of work around resilience, and one of our workshops that we love to do, and seems to be a very popular one, is called Taking Time to Breathe. And BREATHE is an acronym where we look at belonging, reflecting on purpose, engaging in self-compassion, amplifying our attention, awareness, and awe. B.R.E.A.T.H.E, tapping into our thankfulness and appreciation, harnessing our thoughts, and empowering empathy. And we thought it would be really cool if each day the next week we came to you with one of those letters and offered you some tips. So here we are today to talk about belonging. And I just want to start off by saying that belonging is so important. It's important for our engagement at work, our engagement in life. It's important for our sense of well-being and resilience, both physically and emotionally. Now, in this time of social distancing, you may think like, how am I going to connect? How am I going to get that sense of belonging? I'm far away. I'm just at home. But you can. Just like we're doing here in a Zoom, you could reach out to your friends and say, let's have happy hour Zoom at 5 o'clock, and we'll all have our glass or a cup of tea, and we will just get together. Yes, see? There we go.
Jessie, I have your wellness tea.
Oh, good. I'm drinking lovely water.
I love it. So that's my tip for today is find someone, do a Google Hangout or a Zoom, or just get online, pick up the phone and call somebody, because belonging is important. And now I'm turning it over to Miss Janine. Here's a high five. Can you high five me? Oh,
right. Oh, you're both going this way. Okay, good. It's the sanitary elbow.
Right. Good elbow. All right, Janine, you're up.
Okay, so over in the Antonelli home, we have a couple of teenagers, and this on day 2 was on the refrigerator. I'm bored. Okay, so digging deep into my, I know, right?
Hashtag truth.
Little kids like to still be entertained, teenagers. So I had to dig deep into my cavity that I call a brain in here on what we used to do in my house when you still had to get up and turn the channel, right? Like we didn't have all this stuff. I don't even think we had Pong from Atari yet. So one of the things my little brother and I used to do is we'd take a black marker. You can use a crayon. You can use pencil. You can use a Sharpie. I prefer markers. And I will tell you right now, have something under your paper because marker will go through if you're doing it on the table or anywhere. So we would take our marker and we would close our eyes, and on this blank piece of paper, we would make what we did not call then a mandala. So we would close our eyes. I'm going to do it for you. And I'm just going to start making all kinds of little figures. And we used to count to like 15 or 30, and we'd make all this stuff. And then we would have this. So that's our mandala. And this is what my notes look like in every meeting I attend. I do a mandala and I start coloring because research shows doodlers retain 40% more information than people listening. And I am a doodler. And then what you get is
that is beautiful.
Lots of coloring. So you can mix up your medium. You can do crayons, pencils, markers. If you can't get to the store, can't do a mandala book, it's an inexpensive way. One of the things we've added in the classroom, though, is doing some breathing while we're coloring. So I think in one of these, we're going to go through some breathing coming up, but you can have your students while they're coloring, take some deep breaths in through the nose, hold and let it out. And you can do a 4-4-4-4, which we'll talk about later. But this is an ancient art, 45 years old, of what we used to create, me and my little bro.
I love it.
A way to connect with
that. So my teens are coming in. We've got it set up on the table. And that's what we're doing.
Nice.
Family time.
I love it.
Anti-boredom strategy right there. I love it.
Hint, with the teens, you got to plan your family time. They're not just going to come down and hang out with mama. You got to grab them.
Which is a great point to think about, this time where we're kind of all in the same place, right? So it seems like, of course, you're belonging or you're connected, but I am finding that that's not the case, right? I can still be, quite honestly, very disconnected, like through my phone. I could still, and that's fine, right? It's fine to check in. And sometimes I just need to check out for a little bit. So I give myself mama social media time, right? But I'm finding that we're doing this homeschooling. I have a 6 and 8-year-old, and it's great, but I'm also like kind of caught up in like, let's move them through the stuff, so like I'm present with them, but I'm not like here with them, right? Like we talk about the flashlight of attention, like where's your flashlight? Is it honed in? Are you present with the people you're with? And I'm finding that even though I'm in the same space as people, it's very hard to maintain presence, right? And remain like authentically connected. So, one thing that we're doing right now in homeschooling, which a lot of times consists of, what reading, writing, majority recess time. Let's be honest. I'm trying to work it in. Oren's like, my son's like, recess. Is just starting a little bit with a little circle, like a question of the day, and then ending our homeschooling time with just a closing circle. And for us right now, the closing circle always consists of just your pit and cherry, which your pit is like the part that was just okay, that it was just and then your cherry is that sweet part of the day. And it's been cool to just hear what are their big takeaways from our time together. Yesterday, Oren's favorite thing was that we got to do a really cool comic book together. So my 6-year-old, and he loved doing the story, but his pit was that his mom didn't let him bake what he wanted to let him bake, so mom was being a real drag here. But it's just kind of a cool way to just be intentional about the time we have with one another. So we're going to include actually in the link below, the Google link to some questions that you could ask, whether it's elementary or secondary. Or some of you might not have kids. Some of you're in house with a significant other, which again can be great, can also be trying on a relationship, right? Just a lot of time with the same person, no matter how much you care about them, is hard. So just so it's not seeming so monotonous, there's this cool thing, these 36 questions. I know, right? We won't name any names because our mates might see this because we love them. The psychologist, Arthur Aaron, did this cool thing called, he wanted to see, can you speed up the rate at which people feel connected? And so his goal was not to make people necessarily fall in love, but the story goes that the people who were in the research, part of the experiment, so to speak, actually did one set did end up falling in love and marrying each other. That's how the folklore of psychology goes here. But they're just questions that will deepen intimacy. So maybe even just being intentional. And we'll also include the link to the article that has those questions too. Just being intentional at the end of the day when you have a minute with your mate to maybe ask them one of those questions. So it just breaks up the routine, keeps things a little fresh and alive. And then if you're by yourself, which we see you too, that is tough. I have several friends right now, they live by themselves. Going back to what Joelle had said, is just we encourage you to reach out, right? It's really easy to just kind of get into a rhythm where your things just look the same and to isolate even more. And so just to trip that circuit, whether it's even text or, on a digital Zoom, but making sure you're getting those connection needs met.
I think we should set up a happy hour next.
Yeah, maybe our next one we'll do the video during happy hour time. I like it. Well, thanks to everyone for Zooming with us and watching us. And as Jess said, there'll be some links. We'll also be making sure that you have the link where you can get the Taking Time to Breathe ebook, which is full of juicy resources to help you build your resilience during this really crazy, uncertain time that we are trying to make the best of every day. So thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Be safe, be healthy, wash your hands.
Bye.
Bye.